Today's video, you'll know from the title what it's about, but it's a collaboration. I've never done a collaboration before, and I'm just going to show you. It's with Crazy Carneys Family Vlogs UK, and we didn't have, this funny story how we met. Well, I hate it when people say it's a funny story because normally it's not funny, but hopefully this is funny. I shared a video that I'd made on a homeschool page on Facebook, and I got told off for it because it was against guidelines. But there's so many homeschool groups that have a similar name, so I'd accidentally done it, even though I'd been told off for doing it before. But I'd accidentally done it, and I was like, oh sorry, it's because, you know, the groups all have similar names and sometimes it's hard to remember which one's which when you've got a 1-year-old jumping up and down on you. And the woman off Crazy Carneys Family Vlogs UK commented and put, I've just got in trouble as well. So that's how we met, because she's a rule breaker like me. Anyway, I'm going to link the channel below. I'll just show you the bit of the channel first, and then we'll crack on with video. So this is the video. I hope you can see it all right. I'm filming my telly, look. Good job I've cleaned it. These are her vlogs. She mostly does them every day. She's really quite disciplined like that. I'm not. And she's just a normal English homeschooling mum like me. And it's normal everyday life stuff. Bella, some of them are hilarious. Like Bella does my makeup. She's like a little girl doing her makeup there. And there was one where she wore a charcoal face mask, you know, like a beauty mask, and she was pulling it off, and she was in agony, and it was pulling all the hairs round the scalp, and that was hilarious. And there was one where she was driving along, and she's got rear facing seats in her car, and she got pulled over by the police. I'll let you watch that and find out the story on that one. But yeah, she's really quite fun. We're gonna do another collaboration in a couple of months as well, I think. But this is the channel. It's all craziness, just family stuff. I'm gonna link her channel below, and if you fancy having a look, have a look. Right, now we'll crack on with video. It's dead hot today. Sorry if I'm all like I look glazed. I'm sweating. Hello. If you're new here, I'm not normally this much of a mess. Well, maybe I am. I slipped my disc a couple of years ago on my back, and every now and again I have a back flare up, and I'm in the middle of a really nasty back flare up, and I had to take painkillers this morning. I can move about now, which is a good thing, because I need to go to Aldi and library, and I've got kids to look after and all the rest of it. It still hurts, but the painkillers have kicked in now. I can now move without crying, which is always awesome. So yeah, I'm a bit of a... But I said I'd film this today, so... And she'd have probably understood, Amy Carney from Crazy Carneys, but I said I'd do this collaboration, and it was my idea, so I better do it. Right, so I'm a bit, painkillers. So hopefully what I say makes sense, and you don't watch this and think, what the hell? What on that bite? That itches. So mustn't scratch that bite in the internet. Right. Is homeschooling expensive? I have touched upon this subject before on a different video, but it's one of those questions that always comes up, same as the socialisation question. And I have been asked it recently quite a few times, and a friend of mine who hasn't got children yet, but she put on her Facebook she thinks being fined for taking your kids on holiday during term time is ridiculous, and it ended up being this massive thread on her Facebook of people debating about it, and a few people had said they'd homeschool but they couldn't afford it, and she said to me that she could be persuaded but she couldn't afford it. And I said to her, actually I think it's cheaper to homeschool than send them to school nowadays. And she was, how come? And I told her my big list of reasons, and then she said, oh yeah, I can see that now. It weren't like that when we was at school, was it? And then she put, thinking about it, some of the guys in the office are always moaning that they have to take half days at work sometimes for school things, and that leaves them short of money. And some of the guys in the office are always moaning that during the 6-week school holidays, the childcare bill cripples them. You're talking like £45 a day, £50 a day for one kid childcare during the 6-week holidays. I mean, how people do it, I don't know. Right, so anyway, I might miss a few out because, like I said, I've took painkillers. But if there's any I miss, I'm more than likely to discuss this again at some point, because like I say, it's one of them topics that just keeps coming up. Okay, I think homeschooling is as expensive or inexpensive as you want it to be. If you homeschool and you want to buy all the top curriculums and you want to go to every single homeschool group, every single homeschool activity, the money's going to rack up. But it doesn't have to be expensive. We live on a budget. We're not rich people. We live in a council house on a council estate. I only work a tiny bit. The husband's the sole income giver. What's the income giver? Breadwinner. We're not rich people. We haven't even got a car. But our kids do not go without, because my husband is a master budgeter. Our kids don't go to school, so we're not, and this isn't the reason we homeschool. So before any haters go, they're only homeschooling to save money. That's not why we homeschool. It's just one of the nice benefits of homeschooling. Because we're homeschoolers, we don't buy uniform. And when you think about it, you buy all this school uniform. The kids wear the school jumpers. They lose them at school and you have to replace them. I've got this information from people whose kids go to school. Or even though you put their name in them, some other kid takes home, you never get it back, you have to replace it. You buy all these white shirts, and at the school they do painting and, you know, arts and crafty stuff. The shirts get ditched, and then the school aren't understanding about it when you can't get the marks out, so you have to replace the shirts. You have to replace the shoes, PE kit. And you've shelled through the nose for this school uniform, because when I was at school, you could buy just the plain jumper, or you could buy the plain jumper and then buy the school logo and sew it on yourself for a lot less money. Now the schools up here, you're not allowed to do that. You have to buy their uniform with their logo on for an obscene price. I know someone who spent like £200 on their kids' school uniform just for one child for secondary school. But anyway, you paid through the nose for this school uniform that you're going to have to keep replacing bits of. And then they charge you for a non-uniform day to take your kids into school not wearing uniform. Or they decide, oh, we're going to have a dress-up day for World Book Day, and we're going to have a dress-up day for Halloween, and we're going to have a dress-up day for all these different events. And then you then have to go and get them some kind of fancy dress costumes. I ain't got to do any of that. School dinners, school trips. I know that the school are constantly on the ear roll, wanting money off you for this, that and the other, or wanting donations off you for this, that and the other. School bake sales, just, you know, it's constantly stuff you're having to shell out for school. And they fine you if you're late, some of them do. They fine you if you take this kid on holiday during school holidays, during school term time, sorry. But I know people who still take the kid on holiday during term time, because it's cheaper to take them on holiday during term time and pay the fine than it is to take them during the 6-week holidays. Because there are places where it's like £1,000 more just to take your kid during the school holidays. We can go on holiday whenever we like, when it costs less. We can go on days out at places when they're less busy and it costs less, and there's like promotions on to try and get people in for cheaper price, because it's a less busy time. We haven't got to worry about fines or anything like that. And I think the other thing is childcare, which I touched on before, because we already have to have someone here all the time. We're already in that routine. I've got no unexpected childcare bills. It's not like there's a school inset day or a teacher strike or a bank holiday or a school holiday, and I suddenly, or one of the kids is ill but the childminder won't take them or something, so I have to take a day off work as well as still paying the childminder. I've no unexpected childcare bills or anything like that. Yes, you still have to feed your kids and dress your kids and take them out, but you'd be doing that anyway, whether they're at school or not, and it gives you more scope to find the bargains. I'll be out in a minute. What was I going to say? So yeah, you can make it as inexpensive or inexpensive as you want homeschooling. Like we do a lot of local clubs so that I haven't got the transport bill. And over the 6-week holidays, the summer holidays which are on at the moment, I spent a good half an hour searching through social media, finding all the free or cheap children's things. Like there's some groups and there's some clubs on that are free. There's like a movie night that's free, kids bingo that's free. There's an event on at the library that's free. I get a lot of my school resources, you know, books, telling the time kits, science kits, all that. I get all that from the charity shop, which is pretty much cheap. You can buy really cheap workbooks from discount stores. If you do want to buy a curriculum, you could either buy the whole thing new, but then you can still use the textbooks again for another child, or you can photocopy things and then use them again, or you can buy lots of really cheap second-hand curriculum on the internet. Like I say, it doesn't have to be expensive homeschooling. You've just got to budget and be wise with it. And I think that kind of budgeting and make do and mend mentality is good to rub off on your children anyway, because it will help them survive if they ever do find themselves short of funds. So like I say, my children don't go without, but we do budget and be sensible with it. And we have got that freedom to make the choices and go to the places or to the things that cost less, because we're not tied to a school thing that says you have to buy this, you have to do this, you have to go to this, blah, blah, blah. I think it's cheaper, personally. There's probably loads more points, but like I say, I'll get back to you when I'm not in the middle of a back flare up. If I'm not rambled complete nonsense and you did enjoy that video, please subscribe. Or check out my Facebook page, Home Educating the Mad Lads, because I write things a lot better than I say them, and you haven't got to look at me, which is all to the good. Anyway, ta-ra.